Good evening and welcome back to another episode of What's Your Story? Tonight we are sitting down with our new FedEx driver, just kidding, Mike Weston, who has been around the library for some time, is a selectman and one of our favorite people. So welcome thanks. to our set. And we usually start by asking our guests where they grew up.
I grew up in Bangor.
Okay.
Until I was 18 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And then I left and went to Boston. So, and since then, Janet and I have lived in 12 different places. So,
wow.
Yeah, the rent's due, we move. So.
But you've been in many places, and you've had a pretty interesting life. But as far as school goes, so after Bangor,
I went to Bentley. Mm-hmm. It only took me 7 years to get my degree. So
I beat you.
So I got my degree there, and then in 1981 I went to Harvard Business School mm-hmm. for the program for management development, and lived at the business school campus for mm-hmm. 5 months. It was a 5-month program.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah, really nice.
And then after that, you started working in what field?
In the same field that I was in before. The company had sent me to Harvard.
Yeah.
And I had been the controller.
Yeah.
And in the finance area, mm-hmm. controller. And when I came back, they made me vice president of purchasing.
Yeah. And
then a year after that, they made me president of one of the smaller divisions down in Georgia.
Okay. So, and you were there for how long were you there?
Well, yes, Janet, I was there forever. We were there forever, but we were only supposed to be there 2 years. Mm-hmm. But what happens in the interim, as most companies at that time, acquisitions were prominent in the automotive industry, mm-hmm. and so we got acquired by a company called Textron, who's better known for Cessna aircrafts and Bell helicopter, mm-hmm. but they acquired a company called Excello, and that had a lot of machine tool, automotive, and mm-hmm. stuff like that. And so when the chairman made the acquisition, he asked me if I would stick around down there for a while, mm-hmm. and didn't think it was going to be 9 years, but
and you were at
Maracus, Georgia.
Maracus,
yeah.
Georgia, yeah.
The heartland of Georgia.
Wow.
Yeah. Peanuts, corn, cotton, and yeah.
And were you in Germany also for?
I was yes. I lived in South Berwick and Rollinsford, New Hampshire, and then we went when I went to Georgia. From Georgia, we went to Detroit.
Okay.
Wow. So from Detroit, same company. Mm-hmm. I went to Germany for 2 years. That's before we moved here.
Okay.
So we lived in Germany. It was great.
And what brought you to Cape Porpoise?
My family is from my grandfather and his family are from South Berwick.
Yep.
My grandmother and grandfather got married in Kennebunk, and so I was very familiar with the area, but mm-hmm. we bought our house by making a wrong turn. So, I think
I remember this.
It's true. Yeah, absolutely true. My brother said, well, why don't you, we were looking for a house. Janet didn't want to be homeless. When we sold our house in Michigan.
Why not?
we were in Germany, mm-hmm. and she wanted to have some place that we could come back to. So we looked up and down the coast, and we stayed at the Rum Line one night, actually.
Wow.
And my brother recommended.
Yeah.
Came out of there and made a wrong turn and ended up in this little beautiful coastal town. Yeah. So.
And I think, and that was in, when did you buy that house?
We bought that house in 1999.
99.
And we rented it for a year.
Yeah.
To a family with 5 kids. We came back. The house was spotless.
Wow.
It was incredible.
That's really really nice. I think right when when you were getting ready to buy that house, I think I told you this story before. My husband and I were taking a walk down there, and I saw the sign, and I said, "Look, look!" And my husband Greg says, "Mayor, it says for sale, not on sale."
It wasn't on sale, but
But your house, I absolutely love that.
thanks.
The setting of it, the house itself, being at the head of the harbor like that, and behind you, you've got
The marsh,
the
is-
marsh
yeah,
and
and the seals sometimes.
Yeah.
But no, it's a really neat place to live, and unfortunately, if we were to move here today, we wouldn't could afford that. That's what's happening to a lot of Kennebunkport.
Yeah.
And but you're not the first person to tell me that they looked at that house and they decided not to buy it, and I don't know why, but yeah.
Well, we didn't really look at it. We just kind of walked by it.
Well, that's what we did. This is true. We were up here looking, and we had just flown back from Germany. For I had to go to a 5-year planning meeting in Detroit. So Janet, I said, "Come on, Janet, let's go and we'll look at houses." So she came with me, and we drove by the house on a wrong turn, and we looked at the house, and we said, "Well, nah, we didn't want to. We wanted to downsize. We didn't want to get anything big." So I had to go to Detroit, and she came with me, and that was on a Saturday. And Sunday morning, we both woke up in the hotel in Detroit and said, "What about that house?" Excuse me. So we got on the phone and called one of her girlfriends, our friend.
Yeah.
And it was a Sunday. She got the broker to go over.
Yeah.
And she called us and said, "What's not to like?" So Janet flew back Monday morning.
Yes.
To here.
Yep.
And she bought the house on a Monday afternoon. That was in June. I never saw the house, never was in the house until August when we came back to
Wow.
close. So she did a good job.
Yeah. It is really a special spot.
Yeah, it is.
Do you see, like, as far as the the fishing, a lot of that has kind of stayed the same since you've been here, or
It means,
like the lobstermen and the things that are happening in that harbor.
yeah, we wake up every morning, and they don't go out every morning, and it's just relaxing to see the fishermen going out.
Yeah.
And their lights coming on and starting their motors and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's changed much.
Yeah.
It's they're just good. It's just good to have them there.
Yeah.
And it's a working harbor. It's a working fishing area, and we'll do everything we can to make sure they stay.
That's great. That's great. So you have 2 hobbies that I know of. You are a big genealogy
I am.
buff, and you love music.
I do.
Can you talk about those a little bit?
Well, I like all music. I'm an old folkie. So during COVID, 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, October, I guess it was, last October, I decided to buy a guitar and teach myself how to play guitar. And
Good for
and
you.
so I did that. I did that for about taught myself for about 6 months. Then I hired a teacher
Yeah.
that comes to the house once a week and play. So as you could probably well imagine, most of the songs that I'm learning are songs that I grew up with in the folk area. And folk in some countries, Jeff Walker, Dave Bromberg, Tom Paxton.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing, because my granddaughter likes John Mayer, I've learned a couple of his songs for
that's
when she
great.
comes and so forth. But my favorite one that I have right now is John Prine.
Yeah.
That I play some of his stuff. And the other one is I do a pretty good Bojangles now.
Oh, super.
So
we do have a summer concert series.
I am not ready for prime time. I'm not ready for prime time. No
What do you
way.
think this is?
Well, that's true. This is prime time. But so I take I practice every morning and for an
That
hour or
is
so.
so great.
Yeah, and I give Janet a concert every day. And the first song I learned was by a guy named Dave Van Ronk. You probably don't know the name.
I do not.
He was an old folkie at Club 47 in Harvard Square where we met. And I play Another Time, Another Place. It's a really neat song.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And as far as genealogy goes,
Yeah.
you've kept that up, and you've been doing that
have.
for a while.
Well, I've been doing that since about 2010, 2012. Yeah. Discovered a lot of secrets in the family. You don't want to know. But the good thing is, I discovered that my brother, who died in 2006, had a son that he didn't know about.
Wow.
And found him,
Yeah.
met him, and so it's...
That's amazing.
So he had an only child, which is my nephew, Mike. And Mike now has a stepbrother.
Wow.
And they just connected 2 years ago.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So where do you find your information? Do you
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got to go to towns. The library up in Augusta, which is closed now for a while, is a really great resource.
Yeah.
And I've been to Ireland researching. I've been to England researching.
Wow.
So I mean, it's like it's just anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you turn those stones over, and you get 3 more things to look
Yeah,
at.
it's fun. Yeah, it's fun.
So I've tried it. You taught a class here at the library
Right.
a while back, and I kind of got a little bit going, but you really have to stick with it.
Yeah, because there's so many twists and turns,
Yeah.
and I found a lot of things that I didn't know, and that my parents didn't know, and my family didn't know.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so, and I found things about Janet's family
Wow.
that you don't want to know.
Oh well. But it's sort of like, I would think, like playing the guitar, because you can't just pick it up once in a great while. You have to really stick with it.
Yeah, if you want to,
Yeah.
you stick with it.
So-
Yeah, so I just have fun with it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be a performer.
So now you have children, grandchildren. Where are they around?
My 4 granddaughters are in Atlanta,
Wow.
and my 2 grandsons are in West Hartford. So
Okay. You
they're
get to
not
see them a
close.
lot? I know that
Not
you're
as much now that they're getting older, and they're involved in school stuff.
Yeah.
But we used to, and we will. As soon as school gets out, they'll be
Yeah.
up here for a week.
Yeah.
And the whole family. My granddaughter is just graduated from Georgia Tech, straight 4 O's all through
Wow.
all through college. And my 18-year-old granddaughter, her sister, just started Georgia Tech, and she got straight A's the first semester in aerospace engineering. So it's like, I'm saying, it's got to be genes from me,
It's
right?
gotta be. It's gotta be.
Janet said it's her, but I think it's me. So.
Oh man, that's wonderful.
So that's good. No, that's. But I've been able to meet a lot of interesting people along the way, all over the world, and so it's fun. And I was living in Americus, Georgia. I became friends with Jimmy Carter and his entourage and so forth. And my one claim to fame with Jimmy Carter is that I substituted for him as the commencement address speaker
Wow.
at Georgia Southwestern. Yeah, so it's now Georgia Southwestern University. It used to be just college, but yeah, I was on the foundation board there, so they were stuck with me. So
And when you started hanging around at the Graves Library many years ago, I don't know if any of you all know this, but Mike was so instrumental at getting our Mother's Wing built off the ground. You have totally changed the game for us.
Oh, it's great.
This wing has allowed a lot more of our community to come in, participate in events, use the business center, shop at the book sale. Can you tell us your thoughts on how that all kind of came to be?
Yeah, I was just talking to Mike about this. But I started with the library sometime around 2012. and was the liaison when I was
That's right.
a selectman.
Yeah.
And the Perkins house, which was serviceable in the past, was becoming a real problem
Right.
with the maintenance of it and the mold and everything
Uninhabitable.
else. Uninhabitable. So I don't know if you remember this, but in 2013 I lined out some possibilities that we could do, and we talked about, buying the house down the street.
That's
we
right.
talked about connecting to the Perkins house, and we did a whole bunch of things. It just didn't seem practical at the time. So I had a discussion with you, I think it was, and a couple of other people, and I said, we really ought to take a look at adding on to the library. And so there were some things we had to overcome. But so that was 2013, and then 2014 it got planted it a little more. The idea with the board, the board was a little concerned about the money.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Right.
we never were we?
Well, you weren't. You weren't. I had a few sleepless nights and a little bit of gray hair coming in.
So,
But you had done some fundraising in the past, and I remember having a couple of conversations with you that you said, you know what, we're going to do this. We're going to get there because, you just knew.
yeah, I did. And one of the things that happened that gave me a lot of hope was a very generous contribution or support from Howie Goldenfarb. That was the first.
Yep.
And so then, Bob King and some other people were very generous with us. And so you take a look at the whole thing. I said, well, I think this might be doable. And then we did have somebody bequeath us some money,
Yes.
which also helped. But the big shocker was when we estimated it was going to be $1 million, and the bids came in at like $1.4 million.
Yeah.
So and then we still decided to
Yes.
go ahead. So
And then we found over 100 cubic yards of ledge
ledge.
under the building.
Yeah, that was a big surprise because
a big surprise.
we had dug a bunch of holes and out there with 8 feet down, like we were told to do, and
Right.
we never hit ledge.
I know.
So,
I know.
and the one place we didn't dig, we found $100,000 worth of ledge out there, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And that was exciting, and so it was a fun project though, because
It really was.
you could see it taking shape and not without problems, but it was a fun project. So somewhere around 2015, I think we got
Really
it
rolling. Yep.
Yeah, and everybody bought into it.
Yep.
And then we had George Emery took over the fundraising,
Right.
and a lot of people in this town. It's amazing that to me that in a town like this, we did this without any contribution from the town's taxpayers.
Yep.
And we wanted to do that that was our strategy, is not do that.
Right.
And we raised $1,600,000 to build that
In a
wing.
very short period of time.
Very short period of time.
Yeah.
So to me, there were a lot of sleepless nights when you come up. You got to pay the contractor $150,000, and you got $90,000 in the checking account. But anyway, it worked out.
It did work out, and I think I had never been part of a project like this, and from start to finish, it was just what an experience to go through.
It was, and we did a lot of things in this part of the library at the same time.
That's right.
We found out we had to upgrade the electrical and the communications and everything else. So it was worth it because we did a lot.
Yeah, and it benefits so many people.
Oh, it does. Yeah.
Prior to the pandemic, the community room, every day there was something going on in that room, and we're almost back there. We've got many things going on. We just had a bridal shower in there on Saturday.
Oh, nice.
Bunch of librarians were here, and I said, they are. First of all, they were loud. They sang a lot, and we're like, these are my kind of people. But they were having such a great time up there, and it's so nice to hear the laughter and, people using that room again. And we talked a little bit about, Mike and I have been trying to figure out our date to start up our movie night again.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah.
So, but
Yeah, no, that's in our we have a men's discussion group that we meet there every month.
Yep.
During COVID, we didn't because we did it remotely, but we're back now.
Yeah.
We love it up there,
Yeah.
and I look at as some things I would have done different on the room, but I think it's great,
Yeah.
and it's I think it's everything that we thought it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The book sale, we're on the map, so people will walk, they'll use Google Maps, and they'll walk into the library and they'll say, "Where's the bookseller?" Because that's the store that we have down in the basement. And they don't think they're coming to the library, they think they're coming to a store. And when they get downstairs and they see how wonderful the layout is, and I know you volunteer down there, and Janet volunteers down there, and it is like a shop.
It is like a shop.
And it really benefits the library when people drop books off to us, but also when people come in and purchase things for really cheap money. But they're getting some great things. So we had a 5-star review just the other day. A gentleman came in, and so he posted something online, and we appreciate that feedback. But he said he had never been into a used book sale that was so nice, well organized, but even thinking about those kinds of things when we were talking about building the Mother's Wing, it was. We sort of wanted to keep what was going on next door, but so much better than the moldy room.
I know. My favorite story, though, about the bookstore was when I was down there my first day of volunteering. So I came back up, and Barbara said, "How'd it go?" And I said, "I got all the books arranged by color." she just about fell off the chair. She didn't realize that I have a sense of humor, I guess. So anyway, you what?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and sometimes you do coordinate stuff that way. So
I wouldn't do that. I may be slow, but I'm not that slow.
So, and you were also on our select board.
Yes.
And I only get I really don't have a chance to visit with you all unless I'm asking you for money for our library budget.
I know.
But every year I go to that particular meeting, and I'm just in awe of the thoughtfulness, the camaraderie that you all have as a Board of Selectmen. You really think through things with a nice concerted effort. You're worried about the taxpayers. You're worried about the community.
Yeah.
And I really admire that, because I think some towns, there's a lot of, sometimes when you have a bigger board, it's not even that. When you have council members, or they just don't get along.
Yeah.
I'm going to vote yes because you voted no. That kind of a...
Yeah, we don't have...
And it's pretty amazing what you all do.
Well, we had a 3-2 vote last week, or last meeting. And we don't agree on everything, but we're friends.
Yeah.
At the end, we're trying to, each of us has our own opinion, and we're all trying to do the best for the town, and we don't have to agree on everything.
Right.
And sometimes we compromise, and sometimes we just don't agree. And it works out. The other thing that really makes it work is we have a great town manager.
Oh.
So
the best.
We do. And we just renewed her contract for another 3 years, and hopefully that'll work.
Yeah.
And but she's done a great job. She's a very good people person, and I think that's what you need. We have a lot of different personalities that need to work together.
Right. Right.
So she does a good job, and the board, I genuinely like everybody on the board, and don't agree with them all the time, and they don't agree with me. But I do. They're good folks, and they work hard.
They do work hard. You all work hard, and you're it's not just a once a what do you meet? Do you meet every like 2 weeks?
Every 2 weeks. Well, yeah, but
And it's not just that.
No, we have a lot of other things that go on, but you know, the biggest one the biggest tax that we've had over the last 2 or 3 years has been the short-term rentals, and that was that was meeting after meeting, and then we had a lot of public meetings that were not our regular meeting. We
Right.
would, you know, like a workshop, and
So a lot of
forth.
extra time and
Yeah, but they pay us big bucks, so it makes it all worth it.
so if you had to look into
I
your
can afford that operation.
Yeah,
now,
there you
know?
go. There you go. If you had to look into your crystal ball to think about Kennebunkport 5 years from now, you know, are there things that you hope that the town can achieve?
Well, the number one on my list has always been, or at least has been for the last 5 years, is finding some way to mitigate the rising tides, because it makes you cringe when you see in a big storm and a high tide, and what happens downtown. You would see what happens over on Pier Road.
Right.
You see what happens to Goose Rocks Beach.
Yeah.
And you'd say, we've got to find somewhere, and the causeway out here, you know, the causeway
Right.
gets flooded.
Yeah.
The fishermen can't get out there. We are going to take steps to fix the causeway. We're going to raise the
Yeah.
causeway. And the engineering, we hope, is going to be underway soon.
Yeah.
And so we take steps to do that. But, you know, I don't know what we're going to do about downtown yet. I don't know what we're going to do about the rest of it. That to me is the biggest thing that we need to look at, along with all the climate stuff.
Right. Right.
But that's the biggest thing
Yeah.
we have, I
Yeah.
think. What are you going to do when you can't have your downtown?
I know.
You know, when you go and you see the bridge there and the water just about breaching the bridge during that last big one we had.
Right.
And you ask, well, we just redid the bridge. Well, why didn't they do a little bit of this, you know? Anyway,
Yeah.
so there's things like that we need
Yeah.
to look. It's the infrastructure stuff that,
Yeah.
and the Lori has a very good vision for the infrastructure. I think we do, of all the things that need to be done. But the issue is, you only got so many people that can do things,
Right.
and so much money.
And you have only so many dollars. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's right. So, and you're trying to think about like all the scenarios, but you know.
Well, they're all out there. So even fire trucks now, you know, it's you're talking $1.5 million for
Yeah.
fire truck now. So it's some fire trucks, not all of them, but
Yeah.
you know, it's a lot of money.
Yeah. And that's the fire. Speaking of that, the fire department, is that changing a little bit? They're going to be a little bit more on site at the.
Well, that's
The
one of the
firehouse?
discussions.
Oh, okay.
And that no, that's okay. It's we've talked about and it's been in the capital budget of expanding that. We would lose the conference room, of course, and the room there, but we need to be able to have. Looks like per diem firefighters,
Right.
and so we need place for them to sleep,
Yeah.
eat, and so forth. So
Yeah.
we make that over.
Yeah.
And we'd like to do that in coordination with building a new town hall. So then we can have a room for meetings and things of
Right.
that nature. And we have, you know, we can always use upstairs.
You certainly
We can
can.
always use upstairs. But there's a lot of things that got to happen in this town, and we want to do it all without raising
Right.
taxes.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Wow.
And the next big thing that's happening is reval. That's
Yeah.
coming out
Oh yeah.
in a couple of weeks. So we'll see.
When was
And
the last time you did one?
12 years ago?
Okay.
Yeah. So 2010.
Yeah.
So it has to be done. The state
Right.
dictates it.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We had our house. It was like 6 months after we just moved in. The first reevaluation that Saco did, and I looked at our tax bill and I said, "What was our tax bill supposed to be?" But it needs to be done.
Yeah, and
So-
I think the big issue here is that the state values the town at a much higher rate than what we have been valuing it, and we haven't kept up with sales prices. There's a big gap between valuation and sales price.
Right. Yep.
So, which happens over time. It happened before,
Sure.
and it happens over time. So, I'm thinking that that's going to happen like it did the last time. A third go up, a third go down, a third stay the same. So, as far as taxes go, so we'll see.
Yeah. Oh. Thank you for everything that you do. I mean, it's a lot of your own time that you spend, and we really appreciate
Oh, thank you.
your efforts here, especially.
Oh, this was fun.
Well,
Well, it wasn't fun sometimes.
but we made it fun for the most part.
Yeah, we did, and we had a great board.
Yeah.
And behind us, and although they probably lost sleep too.
They might have.
Yeah, but yeah, it was good. I'd do it again.
Mike Kelly, our producer, did you lose sleep over this project? A little bit. Un poco. So when we before we finish up with our interview, we have a rapid fire round.
Okay.
We like to ask a few questions.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite book?
A book I just read became my favorite
Okay.
of all times. A Stephen King book. I don't generally like his gory, but he just wrote a book called Billy Summers.
Billy Summers.
I just finished it,
Yeah.
and it's about it's worth reading. It's
It-
wonderful writing.
the books that aren't gory, they are fantastic. Some of the Road to Perdition. Trying to think of some of the others that actually became Green Mile. A few of those that became. Did he write Shawshank? I think he did.
Yeah, I think he did.
Shawshank Redemption. It was a novella, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, he's pretty amazing.
This is a 520-page book, but the writing is so good, and there's no gore.
Yeah.
And there's no weird stuff in there. It's all about mafia hitman.
Oh,
And,
okay.
yeah.
We'll have to try that one out.
But it's really, the writing is just good.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite color?
Brown.
Brown. A favorite ice cream flavor?
I like good old vanilla soft serve
Okay.
with chocolate
Oh,
jimmies.
okay. Oh, nice. That's good. I like that. Favorite restaurant?
Where?
And it doesn't have to be around here. It could be anywhere. Something that you and Janet enjoy going to together.
Oh, now. I don't know that we have a,
Or in the past.
During the COVID, but we had a lot of them when we lived in Germany.
I bet.
And mostly Italian restaurants in Germany, honestly, believe it or not. But we used to around here now. I got to tell you, one of our favorite lunch places in town is in Portland, and people say, "Oh no, it's a tourist trap." But we were just there this week, DeMillo's.
Oh,
We just like it.
That's
You're
a
sitting
great
on the
spot.
water, and you're sitting on the water. The people are nice. The food is okay, and actually good.
Yeah.
And so we like that place for lunch, and for here we like all day breakfast.
Yep.
Up here now it's Mike's Diner owns it. That's where we go, and but a local restaurant, I would say that my favorite one would be Hurricanes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice spot.
Yeah.
Do you coolest place you've ever been? Not temperature wise.
The coolest
I would
place.
have to say that.
The most amazing place I've ever been is Hiroshima, and in Japan, and it's to see, the what happened during the atomic bomb, and so
Yeah.
and the people's resilience there, and so forth. It was very sobering to be there.
Yeah.
It was the most amazing
Yeah.
place I've been.
When were you there? What time? What's the time?
I was there in I went there 2 or 3 times. So I was 84, 5,
Okay.
6,
Yeah.
in that range. Yeah. But it was just, it was an amazing place.
Favorite John Prine song?
Oh, the one that I play. I really like one that he has on his last album called "Taking a Walk."
Oh, I love that song.
Great song.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd like to learn to play that, but I haven't started it yet.
Well, we're going to ask you next summer to maybe be part of our summer series.
I don't think so.
It is fun. Well, hopefully you'll come this year. And
If
check
the
it
pay
out.
is good, yeah.
It is. It's really good. And it's actually last year when we did those, it was really fun to bring people together. Music does an amazing thing.
I love music. Yeah.
Yeah, and when you have folks that they haven't seen each other in a really long time because everybody was, hiding in their caves, and having them be outside and they could bring their own chair and it was really
nice.
special.
It's fun.
So,
Yeah, those are always fun.
Yeah.
Outdoor things and things like that.
Yeah.
And we have so many opportunities here. I mean, you can go to the Colony. You can go to
Right.
the Pilot House. You can sit out and have a beer and
Yeah.
listen to,
Yeah.
my neighbor Mark Defoe.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he plays and
Yeah.
and Paul LaChance
Yep.
plays up at Funky Bow and
Yeah.
around the different places. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
There's a lot
it's-
of really good talent around here.
yeah, there is. Yeah, there is.
Favorite movie?
Oh, My Cousin Vinny.
Oh.
Hands down. Hands down. Hands
That's
down.
a great movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a great movie. And, that's when we should play at movie night.
It's just a great movie. It's so funny.
Yeah. Ned Devine is still up there for me. Waking Ned
yeah,
Devine.
That was a good. I like that too.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
great.
but My Cousin Vinny.
Yeah, that's
Is,
great.
Yeah.
It is. It's so timeless. Even though you don't think it is, you can still watch
yeah.
it. And
It
yeah,
was 20 years ago.
yeah.
Yeah, or more.
Do you have a favorite library?
This one.
Great.
Yeah.
We always like to hear that.
My first-
We'll pay you after.
The first library I ever spent any time in was the Boston Public Library because of Bentley was right down the street.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
but this one is on par. This is great.
Wow.
This is
And for you and Janet to be able to bring your grandchildren in here, and they,
yep.
they look forward to coming
Yeah.
to the library and going upstairs.
Yeah.
And
Well, Will is 6 feet now. He's big guy.
wow.
Yeah, he's a big guy. Almost 6. I think he's 6 feet. He's just about. He's taller than me.
Wow.
And he's a big kid.
We'll have to see if he'll come back for another
Dinosaur.
program
Dinosaur.
or two. That was
Yeah.
that was a lot of fun having
Yeah.
him be here for that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, he's good at it.
are you golfing at all?
No, I had back surgery in October, and
Yeah.
I went out the other day to try to hit a few balls, and
Yeah.
it didn't like me. So
Wow.
I didn't play last year, and I don't think I'm going to be able to play this year. But I love it. If
I know.
could. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's my favorite thing to do.
Well, you can ride around and consult. You can be consultant for us.
Yeah, well, I make the lunches.
Oh, there you go.
I make the lunches after.
Oh, that's good.
So that was
Yeah,
my
as long as
cousin.
you're still part of that, that's good.
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
a great. Well, there's 8 or 10 guys
Yep.
to play.
Is
we
it
usually-
Thursdays or used to
Yeah,
be Thursdays?
Thursdays, and we usually have maybe we have a couple of maybe 6, 7 of us golf out of that
Yeah,
group.
that's great.
Yeah, I miss it.
Well, thank you for all you do.
Oh, you're welcome.
And being such a great part of this library and also for what you do for the town. I know we don't thank you enough, so
Oh, no,
we really appreciate it.
It's the big bucks I
I know. And thanks to our producer, Mike
Yes,
Kelly.
thank you, Mike.
And thank you all for tuning in tonight for another episode of What's Your Story? And hopefully we will see you back here next time.